Samsung Galaxy Alpha was released in mid-2014, and it was a pretty big deal for Samsung, and for a pretty big reason. It was their first smartphone with a metal frame. But the hype did not last long. It was labeled as a phone with mid-range specs and a high price tag, as opposed to the then flagship Galaxy S5. Samsung then made a smart move by simply keeping the A from Alpha and come up with an all-new lineup. It was in 2015 that the first generation of Galaxy A's was released, which introduced the A3, A5, A7 and A8. Then in 2016, they stepped it up a notch. This generation included the A3, A5, A7, A8, A9 and A9 Pro. 2017 marks the third generation, which is comprised of the A3, A5 and A7. And today we have the leader of the pack with us. With 5.7-inch display, the Galaxy A7 is surely worth your attention. I'm Sujit Ubhi from Phoenix Productions and I'll be reviewing this phone. But before we dive into that, a big thanks to the Cell Cafe store for making this video possible. These guys have the latest and greatest gadgets at extremely competitive prices, and free shipping is available all over India. The contact details are in the description. Galaxy A7's highlighting features as shown on the box are the IP68 dust and water resistance, the 16-megapixel front and back cameras, and Samsung Pay. The phone comes with a handsome set of specs. It's got an Exynos 7880 octa-core CPU and a Mali T20 GPU, 3GB RAM and 32GB internal memory, which is expandable. Both front and rear cameras are a whopping 16 megapixels. It's got dual SIM support, a long-lasting 3600 mAh battery. It's got glass on the front and back, but the Gorilla Glass 4 is only for the display. And finally, Samsung Pay and IP68 certification as mentioned earlier. The look and feel of the phone reminds me of the Galaxy S6, but bigger. With 5.7 inches, you can expect a clumsy experience owing to the large bezels, and if you've got average hands like me. Apps and games run as expected out of an octa-core. The phone's not laggy, but it's not snappy either, keeping in mind that the likes of OnePlus 5 are now offering a blazing performance at almost the same price point. The phone has a reasonably fast fingerprint scanner and the display is really bright. In broad daylight, the content pops out and everything is perfectly legible, even with sunglasses on. That's me, by the way. The camera app is quickly launched by double tapping the home button. Up or down swipes inside the app switches between the front and rear cameras, which is quite a convenience, trust me. But much to my surprise, neither the front nor the rear camera has the ability to film at more than 30 frames per second, and there's a disappointing lack of image stabilization. Here's a sample video shot from the A7. Photography is respectable in well-lit environments, but the details suffer as the lights dim. The camera really struggles to capture detail in low light. For the sake of comparison, here's the same shot taken with the Galaxy S8. The front camera's video, although jittery, manages to capture good detail, and taking selfies in good light is a pleasure, thanks to the high resolution. The battery easily provided over 6 hours of screen on time as it came down to 5%. Unfortunately, I could not capture that. Things like the always-on display, Samsung Pay, a side-firing speaker, USB Type-C, an active fingerprint scanner, and the overall premium feel make this phone very handy and user-friendly. Especially the Super AMOLED screen makes even the most mundane tasks enjoyable. But the rear glass of the phone is not a Gorilla, and there's no LED notification light. I must say that's disappointing. Moreover, the lack of image stabilization certainly cannot be compensated. The difference between the calling screen and the in-call screen is quite subtle. I'm hoping that a software update would fix that. The wide gamut of Samsung trademark features is surely welcome, but I doubt if their usage would really make a meaningful difference. I really appreciate Samsung for the efforts put into making this phone feel as premium as it does. However, in this price range, some other smartphone companies have some more to offer, including the premium feel. Do I recommend this phone? Well, yes, it's a great phone, it's a delight to use, and it's light on the pocket. But is it perfect? Well, I think some more efforts would have made it so. This is Sujit Ubhi, and this was my quick review of the Galaxy A7 2017.